I just want to tell, I'm a survivor too. And the reason why I'm doing this video is because I'm not for one side more than I am for the other. I'm here as an advocate for both men and women. Every moment is a teachable moment, and we have to remember that. And because men deserve a voice just as much as women deserve a voice, I will not hesitate to speak up when a woman does something wrong, and especially if it's aimed against men and men in general. And I will not hesitate to speak up if a man does something wrong. That's how we leave the world in a better state than how we found it.
I felt your heartbeat, felt your mouth breathe, but it's not real. We were close to see the sun, but clouds got in our way, and
Good morning, guys. Welcome back to our channel. I hope all is well. This is something that has just been in my mind for the last 2 days, and I just could not hold it in any longer, and I wanted to make sure that I share my view about it. And just that's what it is. I'm not here to judge anybody. I have a son, I have a brother, I have a father, I have my husband, so I'm not here to judge anybody, and I'm not here to disrespect any women as well. I'm not here to insult anybody, but I just want to respectfully share my perspective about the METOO movement. And also, if you know me personally, you know that I'm very balanced when it comes to both men and women. I will not hesitate to speak up when a woman does something wrong, and especially if it's aimed against men and men in general. And I will not hesitate to speak up if a man does something wrong, and whether it's to a specific woman or does something to insult women in general. So I am somebody who is sort of balanced when it comes to that topic. I support women, I support men, and I want to make that very clear from the very beginning. Because I am raising a son, I am raising a daughter. I will not sit here and act as though I'm for my daughter more than I'm for my son, or for my son more than I'm for my daughter. And so I wanted to make sure that I share this particular piece of advice with all of you, and give you something to think about. You don't have to share the same opinions as me. You don't have to side with me. If you're going to disagree with me respectfully, the same way I'm here to share my opinions respectfully. So I'm not trying to attack anybody. I'm not trying to do anything like that. And I am going to share the good and bad of what both men and women are doing, because and so let's just dive into it so that I can explore this topic with you. So 2 days ago or so, there was this huge outrage over the Gillette ad, and what the ad, and I'll try and put the link to the ad below. And what they did is that they put this ad where they showed negative behaviors of some men, and they said that men can do better. Okay, so they showed a boy who's being bullied running to his mom and hugging her, and then the other boys who were running after him were calling him names, for doing that. It showed boys fighting on the ground while their fathers watched and said, "Oh, boys will be boys." But then towards the end of the video, one of the fathers goes and says, "Okay, you can't do this." He steps up, and I think that's what being aware is all about. It's about stepping up when you see something wrong. When a man looks at a woman, because women, we look at men as well, but the society in which we have been brought up in, a man can look at a woman and ogle at a woman and whistle at a woman, and other men will find it funny, other men will find it amusing, but women will not. Okay, and there's a way of looking at a woman and appreciating her beauty that doesn't have to be insulting. And the same thing with women have gained this power, and I think we have to be careful. There's a lot of dangerous rhetoric out there, And the Me Too movement was created to give a voice to people who have been marginalized, people who were not able to speak up for themselves. And it has been taken and used in a variety of contexts, and that's okay, because one thing can lead to other things being brought up into the light and things that we need to deal with. But the mistake that we make is when we utilize that one thing that is supposed to empower people in a certain way to also marginalize and create some sort of power trip and marginalize other people. The Me Too movement, for me, I know what it was intended. I know what the creator, what she intended when she started that movement. It was to give a voice to people who were from, marginalized communities who had experienced some sort of sexual violence. And it's been taken, to a point where it's been used to highlight inequalities in pay between men and women. I'm here to be an advocate for both men and women, because men deserve a voice just as much as women deserve a voice. And I want to live in a world where my son is not called names just because he's expressing himself. I will not allow people to tell him that he can't cry because he's a man. And I have to be able to empower both my daughter and my son. I cannot empower one and let the other fend for him or herself. And so I want to make that very clear from the very beginning, because I think it's very dangerous when we take a standpoint and overgeneralize instead of looking at each situation as unique. And it is true, when you look at what's happening out there in the world, when you look at how people have been marginalized and oppressed, and people who have not had a voice, and it's the same across the spectrum, right? So if you're also looking at racism, and maybe somebody makes an ad about, how people of a certain color have been oppressed and how others can do better, I wonder what the reaction would be. Would it be met with the same outrage as the Gillette commercial, or would people take a step back and really reflect on what it means? And that talk of racism has also been around for a very long time, and I think that we need to make peace with the fact that the Me Too movement has sparked something, and it has spark different topics that are going to be examined for a very long time. And it's okay. It's okay for people to express themselves. It's okay for people to disagree with others. But as I always say, disagree or agree respectfully. Even in this video, if you're going to agree with me respectfully, respecting whatever other side you're against. If you're going to disagree with me, then disagree with me respectfully. This is not going to be a space for hate. Hate comments are not welcome here, and I'm here to, and I hope that I'll be able to spark a healthy debate rather than hate. And the reason why I'm doing this video is because I'm not for one side more than I am for the other. I'm here as an advocate for both men and women, and so there is no way that I am taking a side over the other. I have a son and a daughter, and I will defend them equally as much as I need to. And so and I will empower them equally. And so I want to live in a world whereby we're very considerate of both men and women. And I look at how a lot of people have responded to the Gillette commercial. People are like, it's an attack on men and all the behaviors that people view as negative. They put all these bad negative behaviors and put them together and put it out there. And somebody, Piers Morgan, I believe, responded and said that if he created a video of all the things that women do wrong, these are his words. He said, if I put a video out there, highlighting, women as psychopaths or cheats or liars, I'd get outrage. And he said, justifiably so. And it's true. He would get a lot of outrage about that. The same way that Gillette is getting a lot of outrage, just encouraging men to be better. they show young boys watching a video of a man, you know, making gestures behind a woman or pretending to grab her, and you know, people were laughing at that, but then towards the end of the video they weren't laughing so much because of what the METOO movement has done, and the impact that it has had in society. And so for me, I just want to make sure that even as women, that we are not using our equality that we have, the voice that we have, the way we've been empowered to oppress other people, you know, to manipulate other people, to take situations and turn them into things that maybe they're not. To be very mindful, as well as women, of some of the things that we say and do, and men need to do the same. You need to take a step back and reflect on some of the things that you know, the position that you have, the voice that you have. Really reflect and see how you can use that to empower other people, how you can use that to better this world. Because guys, when you look at raising kids, if you're a parent out there, even if you're single, even if think about your sibling, or think about the next person you're mentoring, or think about the child that you're about to have, or the child that you're about to adopt. Think about what kind of a human being are you going to put out into society? What kind of a human being are you nurturing to go out and influence other people? And how will they better other people? And I know a lot of people enjoying seeing the world burn and enjoying seeing other people oppressed or other people being put down. And as much as we hope to change that, we hope to change that view, it's very hard if the environment in which they live in and the environment in which they have been brought up in has been hammering to them that they're better than others, has been hammering to them that nobody else can come close to them, you know, that they are above others. And it's the same thing with men, it's the same thing with women. A woman who has been told that she, you know, has the power to do whatever she wants, and justifiably so, but a woman who takes that and instead of being kind and considerate and just stepping back and reflecting and realizing the kind of influence that they have to do good, uses that to oppress other women, to oppress other men. And so I'm just here to remind us, to remind ourselves, to remind me, to be mindful of the way that we speak, to be mindful of the things that we do that may seem innocent to us, but it is not innocent at all. And I was very disappointed in Pierce Brosnan's response. As you know, he's an actor. He said, let boys be boys, let men be men. And I understand that there are things that boys will always do that will be boys, and there are things that women will always do that will always be considered as a womanly thing to do. But just because a bunch of people say that it's okay for something to happen doesn't make it right. If you're seeing boys tackle each other on the floor, is the one who's getting beaten up thinking that, oh, it's okay for this one to beat me up, I'll take it, I'm a man, I'll take it? Or if another girl doesn't dress as well as others, and then the other girls are making her feel as though she can never reach their level, does that make it okay? It's just something to reflect on. And in our blog, we talk about this. We talk about change. We talk about unlearning and relearning. And you really have to do that. You have to unlearn and relearn and know that your way is not always the right way. And in the process of acknowledging that, we're not asking you to put aside the very essence of who you are. We're just asking that you be considerate of other people out there in the world who are also going through things, who are also seeing the world in a different way. We always have to use our voices and our influence and who we are to show respect to other people. It is very important that we're mindful of the things that we say. Women, if you're going to take pictures, close-ups of parts of you and post them out there on social media, then men should be allowed to do the same. As you know, I'm a huge advocate of breastfeeding. I tandem feed both children, and I can do it in public because I'm nourishing my children. But some women have taken some things really out of context, and that's fine. If you want to express yourself, then that's totally okay. I am for that. But I am saying that in doing so, please allow men to also express themselves and put things out there without us being judgy about that. So if you're going to be an advocate for something, and I know us women have, we feel as though our ancestors were oppressed for so long that we now have to express ourselves. If a man tries to do the same, shame on him because they already had their space. No, the young men of today were not there 50 years ago. They did not have that space 50 years ago. So why should they not be able to also express themselves in the same way, so long as it's not disrespecting anybody, so long as it's not disrespecting other men, so long as it's not disrespecting other women? We cannot use what people did back then to justify what we're doing now. We have to be able to accept that the world, yes, the world has changed, but we can do things in a way that exhibits respect, a way that exhibits empowerment, that is not being manipulated to oppress other people. I am just here to advocate for everybody. And you could see a lot of the backlash that Gillette received. You could see people were angry, people were reacting. I took 2 days as I was burning inside. I wanted to respond and say, Gillette, okay, you created this ad and, people are angry. But for me, for my son, Gillette sort of gave a voice to him in a way that it's for him to see that, okay, there are things that, boys do and that are not always respectful. And if there's an ad out there for women, I would support that too, to say to my little Sarita that there are things that women are doing out there that are just not right. You have to be better than that. Telling my son, you have to be better than that. We all have to be better than that. There are things that we do, and Iggy is my truth checker. If I do something that is not right, he will let me know. He won't care, oh, she's a female, she's my wife, so I have to be really considerate, about her feelings and all of that, or maybe I shouldn't say anything because she can't take it. No. If I do something, Iggy will let me know, and he won't hide it. He's my truth checker. I can always go to him for the truth, okay? And if he does or says something disrespectful, I will let him know, because he's my husband. Every moment is a teachable moment, and we have to remember that. There are times we're going to slip up. There are times I'm going to slip up and do something, and I'll need to be reminded that whatever I've done, whatever I've said is wrong and it's disrespectful. And Iggy lets me know that when I step out of line and I say something that is not right, he lets me know, and it helps me really step out and reflect on what I have said, what I have done, and how I can be better than that. I'm just giving you an example. I used to hold on to grudges so much, and Iggy is not like that. He will let go of things very quickly because we need to move on. We cannot let certain situations hold us back. He's teaching me how to not hold on to grudges, but to also express myself when I need to. If I need to tell him something, I will tell him. We will work through it and we will move on, because our relationship, our marriage, it's bigger than that. We have to respect each other. Simple. And we have to learn from the mistakes that we have made. And so I'm here in support, saying, let's take a step back. I'm so sorry for everyone who is offended, by the ad, because I can see, I took a step out. I can see why men are offended. Don't get me wrong, I can see exactly why men are offended, because they have taken things that men have done that are very disrespectful and put it all in one ad and say we can be better. And if somebody out there creates a video of women putting all the bad things that women do and saying that we can be better, they'd receive backlash as well. But what can we learn from it? Instead of reacting, you could see that a lot of people were so angry. It wasn't a response, it was a reaction to this thing that made them feel outraged. And they were upset. Their feelings are valid. So Pierce Brosnan, I don't want to blame him, but I was very eager to be angry, but then I realized something. I realized that maybe he grew up in an environment that encouraged men to be men, boys to be boys, and he just doesn't have the ability to unlearn and relearn in order to adapt to the world that we're currently living. And I started, instead of being angry with him, I started to actually feel bad, because sometimes people get stuck in what they know and they're unwilling or don't even know how to cope. And that is what we need to learn, guys, right? So we need to learn how to creatively cope with things that are happening to us. And just in case you think I'm just defending men, I just want to tell, I'm a survivor too. You know, there are things that happen to me that I can't even begin to express and tell you about. I've gone through so much, and I just want to make sure that I'm using the platform that I have and the platform that I've been given to advocate for both men and women, and not just stick to one side. But that's when we make a mistake. And instead of looking at it from an outside point of view and realizing that we need to analyze things in a different way. We need to unlearn what we know, relearn new things, and not abandon what we know, but be able to have some room, allow some new information to flow in, at least for consideration. And guys, we outline a lot of this in our vlog, the art of unlearning and relearning, you know, how to change your life right now, how to utilize our tool to do that, not just in terms of planning for your future and succeeding in all aspects of your life, but really that tool of ours on our website really helps you analyze your life, look at where you've been, to help you create a blueprint for where you want to go. With flexibility, you can make some changes. We need to learn to hold ourselves accountable. And one thing is that when I'm cleaning up, I'm teaching my kids to clean up, I'm not just teaching my daughter just because she's a female. My son does it too. They're both involved. When I'm cleaning and vacuuming, they each get a turn. They know how to do it, and that's what equality is about when both sides are involved. When we have guests, I don't expect when my kids are of age for only Sarita to help me and not Franco. I expect both of them to be very involved. In fact, when we have guests, my husband shows up more than I do when it comes to cooking and creating dishes. He's so talented. He does it so well. And so I just want to encourage all of us to be very mindful of the voices that we have, of the platforms that we've been given, to be very positive and to empower both men and women, because they both deserve that. We cannot hold hostage people based on what other people did in the past, but we can use those examples to help them be better, to empower them to be better. So I'm hoping that you can see that too, and I'm hoping that we can teach each other to creatively cope with things that are happening to us and to understand each other. I want people to be able to speak up for my son and my daughter. If something happens to my son, if he continues with the trajectory, he's very sensitive. You can see it, and if he continues with that, then he's somebody who's going to be very open to people's feelings, very considerate, and I love that. And it's an amazing quality that his future friends and, you know, partner or whoever, however he chooses to live his life, the people around him will come to appreciate. I'm not going to sit around and allow other people to bully him or bully my daughter. I will not do that. Everything is a teachable moment. So we have to be able to recognize that and to be able to nurture that in all our children, because they are the future, guys. So think about that. Whatever message you want to pass on, whatever attitudes you want to you know, nurture in ourselves, whether it's in ourselves or in our children, we have to think about the state of the world and the kind of state we're going to live it in. So I'm hoping that I've encouraged you guys. I'm hoping that I've sparked a healthy debate. I'm hoping that I've given you something to think about. I hope that even if you agree or disagree with me, that either or you'll do them both respectfully, respecting other people, because respect is the key. You need to understand other people. You need to be tolerant of other people. We have to be able to empower and give confidence to those who are around us. That is our job. That's how we leave the world in a better state than how we found it. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you have something to think about, something to talk about and discuss. I hope that I've encouraged you to really step out, reflect, unlearn and relearn, and to really consider how we can empower both men and women, and how we can, you know, do the best that we can. So please do subscribe to our channel. I hope that you have a wonderful morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever you are around the world. And to remember to hit that red subscribe button down there, and also the black notification bell if you'd like, in order to be notified when we upload a video. So thank you guys so much. I really appreciate you giving me the time to speak about this, and I'll see you in the next video.